The roar of a crowd, Angus Young on Brian Johnson's shoulders. This is ACDC at its best. But a new scandalous claim has shaken the rock world. An online video insists Brian Johnson once told fans he was nothing but a puppet in ACDC. Is it true? Or just noise? Today we dig deep into the origins of that quote, Johnson's real role in the band, and the hard facts behind the rumor. Brian Johnson came into ACDC under the worst circumstances, after lead singer Bon Scott died in 1980. But his arrival sparked one of rock's greatest triumphs. Johnson's first album with ACDC, Back in Black, 1980, became the second best-selling album of all time. Far from being a hapless replacement, Johnson injected raw power into the band's sound. ACDC's own histories credit him as co-writer on every song from Back in Black through Rock or Bust. "We were just lucky we met Brian Johnson," Angus Young said of that transition, noting Johnson has his own character, just like Bon Scott. In short, Brian wasn't a puppet. He was a central piece of ACDC's success from day one. By 2016, Johnson had sung on 11 studio albums. Officially, he left the band's tour that year, only because of hearing issues, not any musical feud. In interviews, Johnson emphasizes how proud he is of ACDC's music. He once described the reunion in the studio as something special, electricity in the room, and he brims with excitement. Angus brought his songs in. "I'm a singer. Anybody would want to get their teeth into these." These statements show Johnson as a willing creative partner, not a sidelined performer. So where did "I was nothing but a puppet" come from? We found no credible source for that line. It only appears in sensational online videos and social posts. Brian Johnson has never uttered it in any known interview or memoir. In fact, he's repeatedly gone on record to debunk other ACDC myths. For example, in his 2022 memoir, The Lives of Brian, Johnson shot down rumors that Bon Scott secretly wrote Back in Black lyrics. Likewise, when fans ask Johnson about band stories, he gives reasoned answers about songwriting or touring, never hints about being a puppet. In one recent interview, he explained he stopped writing lyrics in the mid-80s simply because management suggested letting Malcolm and Angus handle songwriting. "It wasn't anything to do with me," Johnson said. "They said, 'Listen, Brian, I think the boys are going to write all the lyrics now.' I said, 'Okay.' I must admit, I miss some of my lyrics." Note how calmly he discusses it. No bitterness or cry of being manipulated. In short, every verifiable Johnson quote paints the picture of a proud band member, not a bullied singer. The puppet quote has all the hallmarks of an internet myth, not a factual interview. Understanding ACDC's inner workings puts the myth in context. Angus and Malcolm Young have always been the creative leaders. Angus himself stressed ACDC was a band first and foremost. "We are not a band of 5 individual guys all displaying their techniques. The Youngs wrote the riffs and set the style. Brian's job was to bring vocals and character." As Angus recalled, Malcolm was the ultimate judge of a new song. "My audience was Malcolm. I did it toward what I knew was ACDC and what would be appealing to Mal." That shows their process. Angus and Malcolm shaping songs, Brian fitting in. But note, Angus never suggested Johnson was powerless. On the contrary, he repeatedly praised Brian's unique contribution, calling him a unique character, with his own strengths. There's no scandalous fight or secret plan. Even when Angus and Malcolm briefly clashed over direction in the early days, they resolved it and kept the band tight. The only truly significant creative pause came after Bon's death. Malcolm convinced the band to keep writing, and they brought Brian on board. Since then, ACDC has operated on a simple formula. Malcolm lay down guitar grooves, Johnson sings, and the result roars. Johnson's recent comments reflect pride in that teamwork, not regret. For example, on the new album Power Up, he marveled at how the band plug in your guitar, crank on your amp, and you've got all that power. "We're putting out this powerful sound, hardly a puppet, more like the grateful driver of a thunderous engine." The puppet rumor has stirred fans online. Some are outraged on Brian's behalf. Others see it as a cautionary tale about clickbait. In message boards, longtime listeners point out that ACDC's history and the band's own words contradict the claim. As one fan noted, neither Bon nor Brian ever decided a thing. It was all Malcolm and Angus, but mostly Malcolm, reflecting the widely held view that the Young brothers call the shots, but calling Johnson a mere puppet goes too far. Others fans, meanwhile, use the controversy to highlight how quickly misinformation can spread in the digital age. The broader lesson? In rock history, myths and rumors run rampant. This incident reminds fans to seek reliable sources. Ironically, The only real echoes here are Johnson's own words giving fans clarity. And emotionally, it shows how much fans care. People are invested in Johnson's legacy. They react strongly when any claim, however false, questions his honor. That passion is a testament to how beloved he is. Ultimately, the only meaningful quotes come from Johnson's mouth or the band's music, not from shady internet videos. After investigating, the verdict is clear. Brian Johnson was never a puppet in ACDC, and he has never said those words on record. The puppet quote appears to be a sensational invention, not an actual interview snippet. Instead, the facts paint a powerful truth. Johnson was the voice that carried ACDC forward, a creator in his own right and a performer thrilled to sing the Young Brothers' music. In closing, let's end with Angus Young's words, which sum it up. ACDC was a band first and foremost, a brotherhood of rock that stands or falls together, not as puppet and master. Brian Johnson's voice, gravelly, proud, and unmistakable, destroys this myth by simply standing for himself. And for ACDC fans, that is the ultimate truth.